Welcome back. Thousands of amateur and in particular very amateur golfers are looking forward to getting back on the courses when they open again this week, and I'm sure if you're like me, it's your short game that's probably gone to pot more than anything else over the last couple of months.
And the rest, which is why one of our greatest ever sportsmen, three-time major winner and Ryder Cup captain Padraig Harrington has very kindly agreed to help us out. So grab your putter at home and he might be able to help you as well. Padraig, good morning to you.
Morning, Padraig.
Good morning, yes. You have me up bright and early. This is early for me.
Is it really? Are you enjoying lie-ins on lockdown?
Yeah, I'm not an early morning person, yeah, so this is sort of getting up. I've been getting up at about 9 o'clock, but getting up a little earlier today is to get ready for this. It's just put me off a bit. I'm a late night person.
And what's the routine been like, Padraig? Because we've been talking to and listened to various Premiership football teams of footballers who've all been sent training programs. You know, you play an individual sport for the majority of the time, so it's up to you, or do you have a team to set a regime for you when you're in a period like this?
It's always up to me. So yeah, I've been watching my weight, to be honest. You know, that's quite important because I'm not getting as much exercise during the day. So I've been intermittent fasting, and I probably haven't had breakfast. I don't eat before 1 o'clock most days. So that's one thing. I train in the mornings. It's strange with the training. It's like anybody who joins the gym in January. You know, you start off and you start going at it every day, but that wears off pretty quickly. So I've got into a nice balance now where I probably do it about 4 times a week, where I get in there and do the cardio and do the weights. I have to stretch twice a day anyway, so that's easy enough. But the physical stuff, I've got a good balance of that. And then I practice all afternoon and actually pretty much all evening as well. I obviously do those videos, which can be longer. You know, it's amazing. 2-minute video, it's amazing how long it can take to do it when you have to edit and put it out there. That's something that was a shock to me, but I'm kind of getting used to it now, so I should be able to keep doing it when I get back out on tour. That I'll be able to keep putting out videos on social media.
Yeah, and we're really enjoying them. I know your son Paddy helps you to put them all together. It's been such an insight for novices and maybe people a little better than that. Have you enjoyed them doing them too? Has it helped you just keep your own game going?
Look, I love coaching, always have, and I've never had the opportunity bar, you know, doing corporate clinics and the Wednesday Pro-Am every week where I get 3 amateurs and I always give them a lesson. So this is something I've wanted to do. So it's just been an opportunity to put it out there. It's kind of a scary concept, you know. Most people think you should write a book or something like that, but just to give it away for free, you know, that was a big step for me. So I've enjoyed doing it, though. I like being a little bit contrarian and telling people, especially when it comes to golf, most people actually think the opposite of what golf is, and when they come to play it, they do so many things that are the opposite. Like in terms of, you don't want to keep your head down when you're swinging a golf club. You don't want to keep your head still. You've got to move. I did one last night. You don't want to flex your knees. You know, those are the common things people do. You don't want to swing smoothly. That's crazy. And essentially, to swing a golf club, you use the muscles and the sequence of the muscles the exact same as you do when you're doing any swinging or throwing. Whether it's throwing a javelin or swinging a hurl, the sequence of the muscles are the exact same.
Well, you're making me feel, Padraig, like I have the greatest golf swing in the world, because I don't keep my head still and I don't swing smoothly. But like the rest of us, I suppose, Padraig, being starred with sport now for the last couple of months, will you be glued to the golf event tonight? And what do you think over the next couple of weeks and months that golf, the PGA Tour and the European Tour, is going to look like?
Well, I definitely be glued to the golf tonight. I will watch it. I think golf is ideal in that sort of settings, certain small numbers outdoors. Obviously, in a month's time, the PGA Tour are trying to get back on, you know, a full field event behind closed doors. Logistically, that's a lot tougher. So getting through the hurdle of today, having 4 people play, is starting a big step. Getting through those events in June behind closed doors is a big step to getting through events in August with supposedly spectators. And obviously, if both those go ahead, we're now talking about the Ryder Cup in September. But clearly, you know, the Ryder Cup in September, there's a lot of ifs when it comes to that, in terms of We're talking about playing behind closed doors, which is really the only solution if it's to go ahead, because I can't see any Europeans being allowed travel at that stage, or wanting to travel with 2 weeks quarantine in and out. So I think it's that's the option they're looking at, and it's a possibility.
And what's your own preference, Padraig, as Ryder Cup captain, for it to go ahead this year? Because we've seen some players, including Rory, suggest that they would prefer to play with fans, and if that meant waiting till 2021, they'd like to do that.
I think every player has come out and said they wanted to wait, and I think there's nobody who wants to play behind closed doors, but there is the aspect of playing a sporting event for sport, for golf, for the good of everybody, and that's what they're considering. If it was to come down to selfish reasons, everybody would want it delayed. It's not going to be the same thing. The players play for free, so what they're playing for is the glory of the event, and you don't have that glory unless you have people cheering, good and bad, when you're playing. So it's the one opportunity for golfers to have a team event where they feel like footballers out there amongst the crowd in the stadium, and that obviously will be missed this year. So I can see where players are coming from as well. They all have busy schedules. They all have a lot going on, and they don't want to play any more than have to. So most of them do want that situation where it's just postponed, but there's bigger things at play.
Well, listen, Padraig, we couldn't let this opportunity go without asking for a few tips for ourselves. We have a putting green set up here in the studio, and we're hoping that you might give us a few handy tips when it comes to the art of putting, because you drive for show and you putt for dough, don't you, Padraig?
It's actually changed a little bit now. You want to learn how to give it a good hit to start off with, and hopefully if you putt well, then you get the most out of it. But if you're going to play golf for a long time, and people can play golf into their 80s, some into their 90s, you want to give it a hit. If you're going to, by the stage you get a little bit older, into your 50s, 60s, you need to be hitting it, getting out there over 200 yards to enjoy the game. It's not really about giving it a hit as a young fella, but if you don't give it a hit as a young fella, you get a little older, you'll start to struggle. Okay, well,
let's presume we've made it to the green, Padraig. What do we do now?
All right. I've got you on TV there, so I can see what...
Oh, you can see us?
Excellent.
Oh, great. That helps, because we were thinking we'd have to commentate and describe it all.
So I'm going to stand over one here, Padraig. If you have a look, will I address the ball, Captain?
Yeah, you address the ball and have a go there. Let me see what you've got.
Brutal.
Obviously, I've got a little time today, so let me have a go.
Right, well, I want you to diagnose that for me, Padraig.
I would actually think that was lovely.
I
think you did everything right. So there's a couple of things you want to do when you're putting. Let's see if you got my feet in there, Paddy. So I like the fact that you moved. That was very good. So that's very important. Secondly, you were nice and comfortable. So again, when you're putting, you don't want to start bending your knees because that loses your balance. You want to actually move your feet to settle, and you want your hands to hang down just nice and loosely. So you get a position. Generally, the putter would be shorter than most people think. So I'm in a nice, relaxed position. My feet are moving. I'm actually bobbing the putter. But the one key when you hit the putt is you don't want to move your hips. So a lot of you're trying to rock your shoulders and your arms, but you never want any twist or any slide with the hips. So ideally, when you're hitting the putt, you stick that finish.
Padraig, watch your telly very quickly. He just sank one.
Yes, I see it.
You're a genius, Padraig Harrington. It worked.
All right,
Aidan, you have a go.
Swap over.
You might have a quick look at Aidan's efforts here, Padraig.
Padraig, I probably don't need to say it because you'll be able to tell by the look of it, but I'm not a golfer. I hold the club like I'm swinging a hurl.
Well, that would be brilliant. I'd love you to play golf like you play hurling, because everything is the same, just a different grip. Your grip is like mine.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, his ball knocked that out.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm on a time delay, guys, so...
Come on.
That's fine. You might say, if you were a coach, you might look at that and say, oh, it was a long backswing, but you still gave it a good clip. That would go away as you play, so don't even worry about that. Everything about that putting stroke is fine.
Don't change it. You will miss some putts. Don't start getting into it too much. Just keep playing with that. You give it a nice clip. I would say to you, just stick the finish so that you make sure that your hips haven't moved, and a good solid finish. So it's not a wavy finish, and it's not a finish that pulls back to the golf ball. It's just a solid finish will give you that position of getting a nice hit in the golf ball and consistently. But you're doing it fine.
I'll be watching the tape back, that's for sure.
Well,
Padraig, thank you so much. That was really fun.
It's been a pleasure, Padraig. Thanks a million. And listen, we wish you the best of luck when you get back out there on the course. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys.
All the best to you, Padraig. Thank you so much. How much fun was that?
We're both brilliant, apparently, according to the Ryder Cup captain. After the break, we'll have lots of your connections that matter. And hear how a pub in Sligo could be set for a normal people tourism windfall eventually.
All right, put money on this one.